All right, it's my pleasure. My pleasure to bring out your headliner for the evening. You helped create this show, correct?
Yeah.
He's the creator of this fantastic thing, bringing it to you guys. So be super appreciative because he fucking kicks ass and he's hysterical, and you're in for a real treat. Give it up, all the way in from DC. Very funny man, Mr. Chris. What's your last name?
Thank you guys for coming out. And it was not creepy when he mentioned force rape and you applauded and clapped. That was that was like Red Shoe Diaries come to life. Jesus. I've come to a realization about something, you guys. I've come to realize like everything we know and refer to is like just based in the idea of celebrity. That's how we know everything these days. It's like you'll be describing someone to someone you know, you'll be like, I've got a friend who looks like Jeff Goldblum, or I've got an aunt who looks like Sigourney Weaver in the movie Aliens. And based on that, I'm comfortable with the fact that I look like if Harry Potter and Egon from the Ghostbusters had a bastard love child. I'm dying alone. I've got some refreshing news for the ladies. I'm single. Don't go woo. That is your mouth writing a check your vagina cannot cash. I'm single, and I'm wondering, like, why am I single? Why am I single? Because I'm trying to work out a little more. I'm trying to dress a little better. I'm trying to act a little cooler. I'm trying not to dance like an epileptic Muppet when I go to the clubs. Why am I single? And I think the best answer to that question is on my wrist, because I walk around with the 25th anniversary Space Invaders watch. And this is the best contraceptive that money can buy. Because girls will go up to a guy at a bar with a Rolex and a vault spot, they'll give him a huge break. Girls see this, I can hear your vagina slam shut from down the hall. It sounds like an old-timey bank vault. And comments like that are why I'm single. I think you gotta get down to some basics here. Like, if you're a geek, you're gonna have a sort of hard time sealing the deal. You know, odds are, you go on a date and you bring her back to your apartment, aka Fort Awesome. She's not gonna look around and be like, you've got an original Dreamcast, take me now, you autistic dreamboat, you know? Like, odds are, you're gonna need all the help you're gonna get. And ladies, I think that's where the government should kick in. I think your tax rebate should be directly proportional to the dorkiness of the guy you're dating, you know? You go to a Star Trek convention, you pick up the 900-pound guy with the homemade tricorder, and you actually fuck this man. The IRS shouldn't send you a bill, they should send you a pony and a thank you note. You took Terrence from the basement off our hands, thank you. But the thing is, like, girls don't want the geeks, they want the bad boy, they want the thug, they want the guy with, like, 4 teardrop tattoos who just murdered everyone, and they want the guy who just celebrated the 1.5-week anniversary by, like, stealing a police cruiser and then parking on an orphan. That's who they want. And, like, I can't compete with that unless I do like this, where it's just like, girl, you don't know what I'm downloading or how it violates copyright. Looking around at all these beautiful women, and all I can think is, I could disappoint you all. I think, oh man. I've got a weird job, you guys. I'm a video game critic by trade. This will not get me laid. You're 15, right? This is still awkward. This is so legally awkward. They passed the Mann Act for a reason. Like, I'm a video game critic, and it's a cool job. I like the job, but my parents, they want me to get like a more normal job, like a 9-to-5 job, like an office job. And I'm nervous about that from the perspective that your first day on the job is just like a grown-up version of your first day at school, where, you know, you walk in, you're being introduced to your coworkers, everyone's being described as 1 billion times more awesome than you, where it's like, new guy, welcome to the super team. Over there's Donna, a single mother, 9, got her last kid through college, she's doing good. Over there's Dave, a Iraq war vet, saved his platoon a ton of times in Fallujah, amazing stories, high five. New guy, tell us about yourself, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Chris, and back in 3rd grade, I fucking caught Carmen Sandiego. Promote me! I've been thinking thinking about this. I think like we all go through a stage in our life where, you know, you just hate your parents. It's like you're 16 and it's like, nobody understands my pain but Trent Reznor and Hot Topic. And it's like, oh, and then you decide, oh, my parents suck. And then like your parents trick you. Like a couple years later, they'll act like surprisingly cool and catch you off guard with it. Like in my case, my mom a couple years ago, she went through leukemia and she survived, but she was on life support for 9 days. And like the thing was, you know, it was last summer, I was visiting home in Rhode Island, she was recuperating and getting stronger, her hair was coming back. And I remember we were just sitting in the living room watching entertainment news. She's drinking a cup of tea, doing a Sudoku puzzle, and she looks at me and asks, hey, who are they talking about on the entertainment news? I tell her, and she just puts down the Sudoku puzzle and says, Chris, I want to punch Justin Bieber in the head. Oh, God, that was like the greatest moment in my life. I've been thinking about this. I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Brothers just out of nostalgia. I love that game. But something is throwing me off about that game, and I figured out what it was. I figured out that like whenever you finish a level, you get to the end of the castle, and it's like you meet the little toad guy, and he's like, I'm sorry, Mario, our princess is in another castle. That doesn't make Mario the hero. That just makes Mario a poorly informed stalker. Her friend's Facebook said she might be here. I've also, you know, I've been thinking about this. I think like the older generations have the best romantic stories if you think about it. It's like you ask your grandparents, hey, how'd you guys meet? And your grandma will be like, oh, when your grandfather got back from fighting in the Pacific, he was delivering newspapers for a living. Every morning I'd open my newspaper, I'd find a beautiful poem written to me, sprinkled with rose petals. Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's an awesome story, that's a romantic story. And it's like, what is our generation gonna say where it's like, hey, how'd you guys meet? Well, he Facebook stalked the shit out of me. And just gathered information. If you can spit Facebook stalk and not be creepy, you one up on it. Oh man, I've got some good news, you guys. I got to kiss a girl recently. This was awesome. I was at a party, I started talking with this girl, and we started making out, and one thing led to another, and we got to that great, cool, wonderful, intimate moment where you're kissing someone and you're running your hand through someone's hair, and that was also the moment where I realized that she had prosthetic ears, because it gets worse. Because my hand kept hitting this black surgical implant that allowed her to hear, and in the back of my mind I was wondering, like, what do I make of this? What do I take away from this? How do I feel about this? And another part of my brain was just saying, made out with a cyborg! Oh yes! We did it, buddy! Kick that off the bucket list! Next attainable life goal, blowjob on the moon! I've been reviewing video games for a while now, and I love it, but like something is throwing me off. They're kind of wrapping up the Metal Gear Solid series, and they're changing the characters around. It's like Snake is getting older, and it's a little sad to see him kind of go. But there is good news, even if one character ends. They are creating another game in the industry that'll recreate the Metal Gear Solid gameplay. What was the name of it? What was the name? Oh yeah, Diary of Anne Frank. It's also a stealth game. Whoa! That's good. Jokes about the Holocaust. Whoa! How many people are walking out? I hate Snooki with a passion. Snooki to me, I hate Snooki. Snooki to me is basically like a 4-foot orange version of Precious that doesn't learn. And the thing that annoys me so much about Snooki is her 15 minutes of fame does not die. It's like eternal, it just keeps dragging on. And to me, like, based on that, I don't think you can fight and kill Snooki like you'd fight and kill like a normal person. I think you need to fight and kill Snooki like you'd fight and kill a mythical creature, i.e. I think you would have to fight her like you'd fight a special ed werewolf. And based on this, I've been working on developing a gun that fires both silver bullets and standardized testing, so I just need a little more funding. I broke up with a girl back in October because apparently beggars can be choosers. And the way this went down was, I said maybe we make better friends than a couple, and she agreed. And I said, hey, call me sometime. And she called me on 9:30 on a Saturday morning, and just out of nowhere, apropos of nothing, with no context, she said, I think you might be slightly autistic because you have a very hard time talking about your innermost feelings. And I don't think she realized just how much that hurt my feelings. And I also don't think she realized just how totally awesome dinosaurs are, because this joke isn't working. I've got a dream job, you guys. Now that I think about it, my dream job is to become a fireman, but then I realized that they're not looking for firemen like me. Like, they're not looking for the Caucasian Steve Urkel who's still waiting for puberty to kick in. And I think where this screws up the most is when it comes down to the hunky fireman calendar that they sell every year, where it's like, you flip over to 1 month. Why are you nodding voraciously? You flip over to 1 month and it's a shirtless, chiseled dude. He's single-handedly washing a company fire truck. Sexy tagline is just like, it's getting hot in here, girl! And then you flip over to the next month and it's a really cut dude. He's playing Frisbee with a Dalmatian. Sexy tagline is just like, it's getting warmer now! And then you flip over to my month and it's just me in a swimming pool with my shirt on. I've got floaties on my arms. I'm holding a pool noodle. And my sexy tagline is just, I'll never leave you. The thing I want most out of life is, like, for my dating life to like, be similar to my video game life, because, like, just whenever you're on a date, like, if you're on a date and you're making out with someone, you've got a context with video games. You know where you start, where you are, and where you stand at all times. And if possible, I want to bring my video game life in sync with my dating life. Like, if I'm on a date and we're making out, it's going halfway well, I don't know what's going to happen next. I want a progress bar floating over her head. And when it reaches a certain point, I want to hear a voice that says, your foreplay has been sufficient. You've gained access to her breasts. You have now unlocked the how the hell do I do your bra class without killing you minigame. Because those things are defended by minotaurs with lightsabers. And if I am able to seal the deal and make the vaginal miracle happen, like, I want the same rewards and feedback that I get in a role-playing game, I want the gold, I want the experience points, I want the health potions. And at the peak of her orgasm, I want to hear the Final Fantasy Battle Victory music. And right about now, there's treasure. Thank you guys for putting up with us. We're doing a sort of hasty fundraiser for Japan. We are giving everything we can to the Japanese Red Cross so that we may have hentai rolling back at its usual pace to us. And I'll put this freaking thing here somewhere. Also, oh my god, we have a mighty t-shirt. You can put it on your shame flesh. We are selling this for $10.
All proceeds go to our relief effort.
Yes, so that Jake can buy gas and not hentai. Anyway, we have this. This may look familiar to you. I was half naked downstairs in the dealer's room because shame is apparently a distant thing to me. But anyway, contribute if you can, and thanks for coming out.